What's something you didn't realize that you needed in a significant other until you met someone who filled that need? NSW. I realized I like when she doesn't just put up with my weird interests but actually plays along. It's much better when we can get into stuff together. Yeah, I realized the same with my so when she actually helped me push the chair out from elderly people before they are about to sit down. We get into so much shenanigans together. I'm clingy and I talk a lot. I'll often just vent my entire brain at people because it helps me sort out problems. My husband is moth proof. He doesn't care when I text him constantly. He doesn't care when I want to be near him the entire time he's home. He doesn't have a limit for when I need to shut up. He even seems to appreciate the attention. Like how we go with each other to most doctor appointments. He gets disappointed when I can't come. He wants the level of intensity that I have to offer. He doesn't want me to hold back or tamp down any of it. That feeling is so awesome. This was really cool to read as someone who also has to talk out their problems and has high energy. I always wear people out at work, but like you, I'm lucky to have a spouse that likes being my soundboard. Someone to roughhouse with even as an adult. Adults don't roughhouse, but you can have tickle fights and chase each other around the house with feather dusters. Have pillow fights with a good girlfriend. I didn't realize I needed that in a relationship until I had an ex-girlfriend who wasn't ticklish. Yeah, until they don't stop and you're towing the line between life and death due to lack of oxygen. I swear I tell my wife tickling is a good way to get a fresh knuckle sandwich delivered with the quickness and I wouldn't feel one bit bad. Okay, I'd feel bad-ish. Someone I could be myself around and not be afraid to say the wrong thing around. It's tiring having the facade of being the perfect girlfriend. My ex always had a habit of shushing me or tuning me out when I talked, so I ended up not talking much so I wouldn't interrupt him or make him irritated. Then I realized it was complete bulls and that I'm a human being. Never ceases to astound me how such people manage to get by in life when they have such strongly projected insecurities. Intimacy. My ex. I had to ask for kisses and hugs. My wife loves to touch me. Touch is so powerful. The girl I'm with now had never had her head massaged until she met me. It feels so good. Also beard scratches. Someone who won't let me say everything's fine when everything is not fine. I had gotten so used to trying to appease my ex-wife that I didn't even know I was doing it. My new wife won't put up with that. If she can sense something is bugging me, she insists that I tell her what it is so that we can resolve it. It helps that she has no qualms about doing the same to me, but never in a cruel way. We never have fights, because our problems never fester long enough to become fighting points. A dance partner. I've never liked dancing. It always made me really insecure about what other people might think if they saw me. The first 31 years of my life, I considered myself a horrible dancer. 4 years ago, I started dating the love of my life. I'm American, she's Colombian. Dancing is a big part of her culture. I quickly learned that she was going to dance whether or not I was dancing with her. It made me want to dance. For some reason, I didn't care what people were thinking about me anymore. I just wanted to be close to her. I still don't have any moves or rhythm, but I have a reason to dance and an amazing woman to do it with. Everything I'm not. I was in a relationship with a guy who was just like me for 5 years. We were awful together. We were both hot temper, short fuse, only child from single mother, psychos. We fought, yelled, did what we could to take a jab at each other and both had trust issues. On paper, we seemed perfect for each other. In person, it's a wonder we both survived. My husband is polar opposite of me. He comes from a large, loving family. He has the temper of a monk and I know I can trust him. Our few fights consist of me flying off the handle and him calmly asking me if I'm done yelling yet. On paper, we seemed like we would never work, but we work out so well. We know and meant for each other. Someone who lets themselves really feel their emotions. I didn't realize how apathetic I'd become about everything in my life. I didn't let myself feel things like they're supposed to be felt. Now I'm this awful mess of amazing emotions and I've never felt more alive. Hi Austin. I love you. I love you too, internet stranger. My first girlfriend was an airhead, but beautiful, and I thought that was great until I realized that I need someone I can have a conversation with and joke around with. I realized this as well. It's much better to have your so as a very good friend and not just a lover. My so took over my finances before we got married. Saved me money and so much hassle. I didn't know how bad I was until it was fixed. Not even bad horrible with mine. But my wife made it better, and now I don't have to number crunch it. 10/10. Highly recommend marrying accountants. Someone who enjoys doing nothing with me. We can lay in a park in a hammock, or we can lay on the couch and just enjoy each other's company. We can soak it in. We can just feel each other being, and that's enough. He's always on his phone or other technology. He can't just be still with me. A vagina. This is recent. I've always known that I was pretty into chicks in a way that my lady friends weren't, but I've been trying to make it work with dudes anyway. Nope. Lesbian. Nope. Lesbian. Big selling point for me too. Adventure partner. Guy is always down for hiking, camping, whatever. We just go places and do stuff. And validation is nice, too. This would be nice in a girl. I didn't realize I needed a nerd until I found one. My husband is a serious gamer, has been playing D&D since he was a kid, reads all the time, and always has something interesting to talk about. He's always coming up with new character ideas for D&D, and is always a great person to talk to because he can talk about most topics. I didn't realize I needed the mental stimulation and that nerds are sexy. Let's just say he has a very high charisma and intelligence score. Matching libidos. I don't have a huge roster of previous lovers, but this has become a deal breaker. It's just not worth the agony you put each other through. Scrolling down, I read this as dildos. I miss having someone fun, who appreciates me and wants to go out and be in the world. My husband isn't like that and I miss it more and more. You should probably talk to him about it before it festers. Super inexperienced in relationships here, but just having someone to talk to at random times is amazing. My mom is always willing to talk, but it's my mom. I've only dated one girl in my life, for more than one date, and only for 2 months, but she was always wanting to talk when she wasn't super busy, and it was amazing. When I was in high school, a girl I was seeing pointed out that I had hair around my butthole, like not on the hole, not on the velvety lips, but you know, around the area gooch part. I've seen my cornhole in the mirror before, but I was a growing teenager, and all this hair was new to me. Naturally, I was freaked out at the thought of pubic hair. She thought it was okay, but I was convinced it needed to go. It didn't take long to realize that tweezers were too painful and too time consuming. Waxing was not an option. Next was the obvious choice, duct tape. Using duct tape like some sort of wax alternative. We spent about a good hour applying duct tape to my gooch and then tearing the butt-addressed follicles out using ninja speed swipes. After a while it started to feel good. A lot of good duct tape was wasted that day. Of course, the hair grew back eventually, and I learned that having butt hair wasn't the end of the world. It's au naturel now. I'm no longer with that girl, but man, she was a trooper. I wouldn't have obtained a bare butthole that day without her. 11/10. Would date again, but she probably has other ideas. TL. DR. Duct tape can do anything. Never have I clenched my butthole faster than upon seeing the words duct tape in your story. Whoa. Some of the thing people are saying about their so are so sweet. I've never had anyone say such things about me or make me feel like I'm special. So many feels. You're special. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Oh. Someone who doesn't agree with me just to agree. Actually talking to someone with their own opinions is so much more productive and rewarding. It might seem small, but I needed someone whose happiness is contagious. I can be pessimistic and jaded at times, and she has a way of pulling me out of it. I'm pretty lucky with who I'm with right now. Someone who I could talk to about anything. Instead of having to hold it in and deal with it internally, I had someone to vent, talk to, and get things off my chest. Someone childish and silly. I'm a serious guy and I always thought it would annoy the frick out of me, but she really brightens my life. Can't be all doom and gloom all the time. Sometimes you just need someone that can lift your spirits without even trying. Loves playing video games as much as I do. Heck, doesn't even have to play it. Just needs to like talking about video game related things. Also, a girl who's aggressive in bed. Not like dom status, but she takes what she wants. Someone to be lame with. My girlfriend and I will say some of the lamest jokes, or do some of the lamest things around each other, but we can't help but find ourselves laughing our asses off and make them become our new inner jokes. It's amazing. Being naked and comfortable near someone during non-sexy time is amazing, and sometimes it leads to unplanned, amazing sexy time. This. Me and my current girlfriend sleep and cuddle naked every day without any sexual interaction, and it's great. Sometimes I get lucky and she'll reach back while we're spooning, and then it turns into sexy time real fast. As a musician, I knew I wanted someone who was a musician in some capacity, but my wife is super talented. I couldn't imagine being with someone who was just a hack. My wife can discuss music at a very high level with me, understand the demands of my job, and being able to gig with her is amazing. This is something I want to do sometime in the future with my girlfriend. Just dropping everything and playing music with the person you love. I had been filling a huge empty space in my heart for years with opiates. Once I found love, there was no need for the drugs any longer. 15 years later, I am still with her and I always will be. I'm happy to hear that you found your other half and got clean. Best of luck to you. True intelligence, and not being afraid of showing it. The ability to form objective opinions on complex topics and qualify those opinions is a huge turn on to me. The fact that I can have deep, though provoking conversations with my wife is one of the best aspects of our marriage, even if we don't always agree on whatever it is we're talking about. Simple answer, but cuddles and intimacy and affection. I was always someone who wasn't touchy-feely, hated PDA, had no time for someone wanting to cuddle me. Then I met my so. At first, I complained and told him how much I didn't like to touch in public, cuddle in bed, etc. He told me to get over it because I didn't have an option. Now I crave his love and affection and can't imagine why I hated it so much before. I never realized that someone would genuinely care about my feelings until I met my current boyfriend. Everyone else told me to stop worrying, or that I cared too much, or I was crazy. So I thought there was something wrong with me. Truth was, they were just buttholes, and it's a quality current so loves about me. So I'm starting to accept it too. I have come to realize I need a significant other. I'm trying to live with the idea that this will never happen. My life is not a happy one. My ex had short nails and I never thought anything of it. The girl I'm into now has long nails. I never thought it would make a difference, but getting teased by long nails feels amazing. Even if it's something as simple as her clinging to me and aggressively scratching my back under, or over, my shirt. I will never look at long nails the same way. My girlfriend has long nails too. The girls I dated in the past had short nails. I never thought anything of it until I met my current girlfriend and she started scratching my forearm when we were just sitting laying next to each other. God, it feels amazing. An old boyfriend of mine would just lay on top of me in a completely non-sexual way. It was oddly really comforting. Also being able to make the worst, low quality and dark jokes with not only no judgment from them, but also them laughing with you. Having a similar fricked up sense of humor. I dated a Jewish Asian girl and she would get pissy whenever I made any dark joke about races or religions, especially hers. Now I'm with a Latino and she'll join in with my jokes and make it 20 times better. Also a big one was family. Most of my family hated my ex, but I never really thought about or cared. My family love my fiance, and now I realize how much more relaxing and stress drama free it is when I don't have to defend myself or my so. Just for future reference, Latino is for guys and Latina is for girls. Someone with some self-esteem. Didn't realize this until it ruined my most recent relationship though. Self-esteem is the root of so many issues, from intimacy, to responsibility, to motivation. Never realized how important it was for someone to have. Intelligence and interest passion. Finding someone that has a similar intelligence level is a big foundational piece. Congruence here makes for more interesting and stimulating conversation. Interest and passion are the tougher part. Finding someone that has enough common interests to give common ground but enough divergent interests to keep things interesting is an incredibly tough balance. When you find it, it's pretty awesome. Similar social functioning is a big one as well. It really sucks to be the introvert with an extrovert or vice versa. There are some many levels to those categories that finding someone with similar social needs is a life-changing experience. Someone who I find attractive. Before meeting my fiance, I used to go after ugly guys because I figured they would appreciate me more than someone who considered themselves worthy. Unfortunately, I never caught one. It's likely they thought I was out of their league and so they overlooked my advances. Now that I'm with someone I find crazy good looking, I couldn't imagine anything else. Attraction has a lot more importance in a relationship than I previously gave it credit for. I tried dating a girl for her personality. In fact, I've tried it multiple times. It never works. Physical attraction is a must, and not occasional attraction. I'm talking just woke up without makeup and still naked, but still incredibly sexy to me levels of attraction. Previous GFs were hot when dressed up, but it was a thin veneer, and when it wasn't there, it wasn't good. Someone who knows how to let loose and have some fun. Life has become more vibrant since I met my current so who can be silly and spontaneous and can just relax. We can be our true selves around each other. It's wonderful. Someone as weird as I am. I have a recent example. We went out and found a puppet shop while wandering around San Francisco Sunday. I asked if the guy had any sad puppets and the guy brought down this one to play with and I really liked it. It felt really natural and the owner even offered me a discount. He did not offer that to anyone else there. I had never handled a hand and rod puppet prior, and never was really around any other type much. Crap felt right. So now I think it'd be fun to maybe make my own puppet because there aren't any like I'm looking for. Why not? A few friends laughed at me about this. How did my wife respond to my idea? She's so into it she wants to do the entire cast of characters we roleplay during sexy time. We have a very detailed ongoing story we've made over the years. We're going to start building when she finishes her semester. We are going to try to make an adult puppet show of the story we've made about the alternate universe beings from the world called Under. There's war, time traveling hippies, incest. They are different and have different genetic rules and social customs don't judge. A slave that becomes king. A broken prince that's a recovering addict after seeking refuge in this world during an uprising. Polygamy, murder, and a bunch of and sex. Lots of sex. We plan to do shadow puppets there so that it's just silhouettes. I don't want them to look like Muppets. I want them to look unique. I'm a working artist when I'm not at my night job. I'm confident with art of all types. Why should this be different? We just do weird crap. Last month we ended up making like 100 bracelets because why not, and now they're selling like hotcakes and we don't even advertise. We had the idea and 8 hours later we had like 50 bracelets already made. We are known for our cosplay locally. That was another whim. We worked in drag for about a year as part of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. You know, just because. I'm great at female impersonation makeup. Particularly kinky sex that I don't think anyone can do like she does. We are way detailed about the roleplay and have entirely different sexes, different characters. We do not break character. She plays a boy pretty often. It's what she's into so it's what I'm into. Life is awesome when you don't have to worry about being cool over being happy. Wish I could be as honest as I am with her with everyone else. 17 years together come June, but we've been best friends since age 5. She was the only person that understood me when I was being abused as a kid. We have zero walls up at this point. It's awesome. Someone who I could really open up to and talk to about anything. Kind of like complete transparency. You know how sometimes you feel like there is a subject that you and your so don't see eye to eye on. So you try not to talk about it, or just talk about it very little? I've had that with everyone but my husband. It has been so freeing. I mean it. We talk about everything. Nothing is taboo. Nothing is weird. There is no judgment. Just honesty and openness. I could never ever go back to not being true to myself or my feelings or feeling like I have to walk on eggshells. Do we have disagreements? Of course. We're not perfect. But that open communication is key. There are subjects that aren't pretty, or may start a small argument, but I can't imagine not being able to talk to him about anything. Someone to share my experiences with and to look after. I love being a strong, independent woman, but I was shocked at how much I love cooking and looking after my boyfriend. I love having someone to share my experimental dishes with, to make and do things for. It's nice. Plus all the cuddles and intimacy. But I assumed that would be nice even before I had a boyfriend. Letting me be myself. Shamelessly. I saw a joke here recently. They call me Coffee because I'm dark and bitter and everyone tries to change some fundamental aspect of me so they can be with me. I've felt like I had to be some kind of Superman for everyone I've ever been with. But not with her. It's the best thing to not have to censor yourself, argue about why you like the things you do, etc. I am the boyfriend where it is always about what she wants and needs, which when I can help her or fulfill a want or need for her, it's ecstasy for me. My girlfriend does the same exact thing, and it is so wonderful, the feeling of being loved the same way you love another. Being able to argue without saying something you will regret. We both learned and promised long ago to never say something you can't take back. I'm 50. If there is any advice I can give young couples, it's don't say something you'll regret. It will come back up in every conversation argument you ever have and will never be forgotten. Don't talk about her mother's diabetes, her father's girlfriend, her mole. If her vagina was smelly one time, never say something you'll regret. Both men and women hold on to that crap forever. An argument is such a temporary thing. It's forgotten the next morning. But a hurtful personal comment, don't do it. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.